Welcome to the Trader's Gap. Before we dive in, I just want to say a quick thanks to everyone who checked out the first video. I know it wasn't perfect because it was my first and the audio and structure might have been a bit off, but I really appreciate the support. I'm learning as I go and the goal here is to progress, so it's not about the perfection all the time, right? In today's video, we'll go over last week price action on euro dollar because that's my main pair. So I'm gonna do a full backtest breakdown and I'll kind of compare that with my live results to find the gap, and I'll also walk you through a short trade that I took on Aussie dollar. Actually it was long. Just go over that one as well at the end a little bit quickly. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, this is the weekly chart on the euro dollar. As we all know, we are pretty much bearish, right? With this bearish leg. I had this massive push up in the first quarter, took out this significant buy side liquidity. This is much more visible on the daily time frame into this premium price, so anytime we can expect that continuation to run this kind of low. But as we know, we have been this impulsive move in this last month, so this may be just a reaction before pushing another leg higher, or it can be actually the move to go to the downside, so we'll reassess. But just from the weekly perspective, just signaling potential some bearish reactions, nothing much. And going on the daily time frame, as we know, so this was 28th of March. Okay, so what do we have here? All right, so yeah, as we know, this was a recent breakup structure, and now we were playing within this leg. So this was a strong, this is weak because it led to the break of the high. Now sweeps all these buy side liquidities, which is significant. And now after that, we have been showing some bearish pressure coming in. It's not that convincing because it doesn't have any imbalances in the price. It's a very corrective push down, but there is. So there may be a chance we may see pop up to this supply and then roll over to the downside, or it can be just a liquidation, sell side liquidity sweep to push for another leg higher, right? Okay, that's the daily. Going on the 4-hour time frames. 4-hour time frame was a bit tricky because what we had was we had this bearish move to the downside, right? So this price action is not the best. If we can see, every time we broke down, broke low, we have been retracing, so there is no any significant move, and it's not like that impulsive move as well. It's rather very corrective move, and yeah, we have been saying this kind of push up last couple of weeks ago, right? At this point here, we got this 4-hour IPOSH. That means now we are getting the pullback for this leg, right? Just getting the pullback. Is this the pullback is going to continue and run these highs? We do not know. There is two instances this can happen. Either we are getting a deeper pullback and then roll over to the downside because of the daily chart and weekly chart sweeping all these major partial liquidities from the left, or this can actually just this liquidity sweep to mitigate much deeper into the hair and then roll over, because it's not the best price action, right? So we understand that this was 4-hour demand that was in control. So now we can definitely place sales up to this supply, also up to this demand, and we'll reassess how price will react here. But yeah, definitely playing sales up to this demand makes sense from the 1-hour perspective. Let's go on the 1-hour now. So the 1-hour looks pretty clean actually, because we had this bearish move from here. That was 1-hour breakup structure with 1-hour bullish breakup structure, which shows that we just got to close, I think. Yeah, we just switched bullish, and we may switch bullish just to pull back into this 4-hour premium level, and then we can probably roll over. But yeah, while we have a strong low, we can continue looking for longs until it shifts, right? Okay, so let's put the price forward. This was Friday, let's go Monday. That's Sunday, and So on Monday, that's still Asian session. No, actually, this was London session. Okay, so we were like that on the Monday. So we've swept the highs, right? It was not the best price action because we barely closed above. We didn't close above at all, but we know demand is in control, right? This is the demand. That demand has been formed through sweep of liquidity, which is strong, but the fact that we did not close above, it kind of makes low probability to continue trading from here. But nevertheless, it's still valid to continue looking for longs because of this big momentum, and sweep liquidity have an impulsive move. So if we pull back collectively, then yeah, it can be a medium probability to trade to capitalize on. So let's see how it goes. Okay, we did pull back into the POI, but the price action was not the best at all. Anyway, looking for entry model was valid for me, and was looking for an LC2A, which never formed. I was not interested in this lead because it's aggressive entry model. So now I'm looking for a pattern LC2A, which is having that fake break and liquidation of this fake break and then getting on buy stop order here. Okay, also the way we are coming like that, it's like now if we position ourselves on the sell, now we are formed through sweep of liquidity. So now we are fighting between supply that was formed through sweep and the demand that was formed through sweep. So it's low probability condition. In this case, if it was pulling back like that, then it would be different, but now it's like we're coming after the sweep, so it's not the best, right? Anyway, we did not form the entry model and we disrupted the POI. I think, yeah, we disrupted the POI, so there was no entry, which saved the loss, right? Now this demand has been mitigated now, right? So now we are in this 4-hour demand. So what do we have is yeah, we got the breakup structure. Yes, internal switched bullish, so this demand is in control. Until and unless this demand does not fail, we can't confirm the low is weak, right? So now we have two potential bias, right? So now it's like, are we getting a deeper pullback following this kind of high lows, or we are just finished pulling back and then we are rolling over just because of not so convincing break on this one, right? So it can go either way. So anyway, for long, I want to see the confirmation like that on the 1-hour time frame, and then trade from fresh demand from high probability, and then I'll capture this kind of high lows. But if we continue looking for like bearish, then I'm not interested because of the explained because of the area we're coming from here, right? So okay, price action was not the best. That was New York Lul. So let's go to the next day, that is on Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. Okay, that's still London session. So we're still in this 4-hour demand. It has not failed it, and also we are trading into this 4-hour supply. So for me, it was not the best. So I was just not trading at all because we are just fighting between demand and supply. I don't want to trade in between because this is very low probability condition. I want to see commitment to either side like that, and then probably capture this move. Or if I can see convincing break like that, then yeah, probably capture this to run this kind of flows. At this point, I'm not interested at all. Let's see how it goes. Right, okay, we kind of got the break of this one. Still demand has not failed yet, right? Okay, still has not failed yet. I am not really interested. That's Tuesday's gone, I think. Yeah, now next session on Wednesday. So this is Wednesday, right? Yep, that's Wednesday. Still in this demand, still in the supply. Price action is not going anywhere at all. I'm not really interested. If we can see here, we have liquidities resting below, liquidity resting above. and 4-hour demand, 4-hour supply, both are in control. It's like it's not going anywhere, right? I'm not forcing anything at the moment. Just let it go. I think it was news on Thursday, Wednesday, Trump speaking, probably. Yeah, happy to let that go. There is no any clear intention. So on this time, Wednesday, during the news, we broke to the upside, showing that bulls are in control, right? Because we led to this breakup structure. Right, that means this demand ended up holding. Now we do have a fresh demand that was formed through sweep right here. So this demand is currently holding now. So either this can be just a pop up to this premium prices where there is imbalance here, and then probably roll over to the downside, because the low that has been formed, it's not the best, leaving this kind of low resistance liquidities below. But the recent impulsive move is quite nice. So if we pull back correctively into this demand and get the lower time frame confirmation, that is 1 hour, then trying to capture this high low formation for deeper mitigation into this premium can be worth it, right? Okay, let's go on the 1 hour now on Thursday. That's our saturation. I'm not interested at all. So that was pretty volatile because of the Trump speaking. Yeah, so just do not force at this point. Price action is quite messy. Just let it go. Anyway, we came back into this demand and reacted, but there is no any clear intention at this point. Normally when we have this long wick to either side, it's just showing no clear intention. It's quite ranging now. I'm not forcing anything at all. So that's why EU was not the best last week. Not good at all. Yeah, let's go on Thursday now. This is Thursday. Eventually we took out this week low, so that ended up happening, right? So what happened was we pushed down. Since this was very corrective, it was not that convincing. That ended up being sell side liquidity sweep to push the price higher. Now, are we getting a deeper pullback more, or is this enough to fuel the move to the downside to go have this pullback for this deeper larger leg? We do not know. Since we are heavily bullish, let's continue looking for longs until and unless it does not shift on the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame. Great. Okay, that's the daily. So this is the 4 hour now. We have been very impulsive, right? We took out the high already. That's 4 hour breakup structure. So with this kind of bullish nature, let's just continue looking for longs if we form high probability POIs to trade from, right? Okay, heavily bullish, yeah, it's pretty bullish. There's no any opportunities for me to get involved. Yeah, so this is the demand in control at the minute. If we see this fail, then yeah, we can expect for deeper pullback for this bullish range. I'm not forcing any sells because the price action is not the best, because normally when we get that impulsive nature, we kind of pause for a while, and this pause can be tricky to trade, and once it's ready to go to the other direction, to either direction, it normally sweeps and go, right? On the bearish confluence, we normally sweep and then goes like that. For example, when we have this impulsive move, right, it often decelerate for a while, create very weird pattern, and when it's time to go, it normally sweep the lows and then it's reversed. So we're trying to capture this one. It makes more sense because now we are in the good area of value, have that kind of corrective pullback nature, and capturing this can make sense on the long. For the sells, normally we see like corrective pullback, sweep this one, right, and then if we get that kind of shift breaking this kind of flow, then playing sells from here can make sense for deeper pullback. Yeah, that's a little bit manipulation for me as well, right? Okay, this was on Thursday. Thursday it was not clear. Let's go on to Friday. So this was on Friday, just Frankfurt open at this point. So at this point we were in this supply. This supply did lead to this break. That's more chalk, right? That's an eye chalk, and this is the supply that led to this break, right? But we know there was no any low break in this whole leg because this all candle break broke the previous candle's low high, right? So we have been forming this kind of bullish order flow. So once we get that shift, it can be interesting to play the sell to up to this demand before capturing this kind of move. This is very aggressive because we are fighting with the trend, which is heavily bullish on the higher time frames, and now we're trying to capture this mini kind of shift like from here. This is a bit aggressive. I do not trade like that, and I rather wait for some kind of well-developed range to trade from. Anyway, this demand was in control, right? After this supply mitigation, we got the flip. So for the aggressive entry model, yeah, we can definitely capture this kind of low entry up to this demand, or even take this kind of target this low. But yeah, this makes sense to have it. Yeah, this is not the way I trade, but I think it did work. Or we didn't pull back. Okay, we didn't pull back. Just what it is, right? I was not interested at all. Supply ended up holding. We mitigated this demand. So if we get a proper shift, so if we had this kind of move here and then like this low break, then this would be different because now we would be trading from POI form through sweep. But now here we have left low resistance liquidities on the highs. This is not how the top forms. It normally forms after the sweep and then shifts. So this is more interesting to trade short from rather than selling from this move, because this is not the best. Anyway, if I got this kind of shift, then I would be interested in capturing the long from here, because overall we are very bullish. All right, let's see how it is now. We did reacted. So this reaction can actually be just the mitigation of this one and then go roll over, because we're just fighting between demand and supply. It held. I was not interested as sell at all, and that's how we ended up in Friday, right? So that's been filled. We got the flip. This is the supply. It did held. Right, there was aggressive entry here as well on sale, but I was not really interested, because what happened was we have this demand. It's not that clear pivot point, but yeah, it was just part of the one move, but there was some kind of demand. If we go on the M5, it will be like that and then go. So that was the M5 demand from here. It's not clearly visible on the M15, but anyway, we did react it. It did not lead to any breakup structure. After that, we had this weak break on this low. That means we got the failed reaction, so giving us fresh supply. This is a little bit advanced and aggressive for me, because I don't want to capture. I don't want to be trading against all these liquidities, and with this kind of momentum, it can be just a regular pause to get another higher, right? Anyway, okay. So yeah, there was this POI to get involved into the trade. Yeah, it did mitigate it and then led to this move to the downside. That was on the Friday. So yeah, not the best price action, because at this point we were just battling between demand and supply, right? Either this kind of from here, once we got that shift, now we were trading from supply and the demand. So there was no any high probability condition at this point. After that break, we had this high probability condition to trade, but price simply pulled back, giving us without any opportunity. And Trump speaking about tariffs, it just was very volatile and supported the upside. That was euro dollar. It was not the best price action, but let's go with this Aussie dollar. I took trade on Aussie dollar last week. It was a quick long. Let's quickly go through it. So this was the recent breakup structure, and we were just playing the pullback for this whole large leg, right? And we pulled back all to the extreme, and we kind of got this kind of break. So that means we are playing within this move. So for intraday, I was just trying to capture this kind of move to this long up to the supply, because it kind of makes sense, because after the breakup structure we expect a pullback. So where will this pullback starts? This pullback will start after the breakup structure up to the supply, and then we'll reassess how it reacts. So from the daily perspective, I can continue looking for sales if we continue forming high probabilities on the 1 hour and 4 hour. Also for the long, if we have well developed range like that, the 1 hour and the 4 hour form through sweep, impulsive move followed by correction, then I can capture these long up to this supply as well. That was the main idea on the daily, from the daily perspective. And from the 4 hour perspective, what I was saying, like, got this breakup structure. After the breakup, this price action was quite messy if we zoom out, right? Because see, it's just going sideways, but I'm just focusing on the recent price action because I'm just trying to capture the move that is in between demand and supply, and I'm just going with the order flow, what's in front of me. That means we got the breakup structure. After that, we have been forming this kind of bullish order flow on the 4 hour, giving us fresh demand that led to this break. Now we have the opportunity to get involved in this kind of long POI up to the supply, because normally we react from demand up to this supply and then normally we roll over, right? Anyway, I was just trying to capture this move. Going on the 1 hour time frame now. So what did we have? Same structure as 4 hour, got the breakup structure. We had this supply here on the 1 hour. What did we had? So got the break, pull back into the supply, we reacted, we never break the low, and then demand stepped in, leading to break of these highs. Now what do we have? We have this fresh demand formed through some kind of sweep, right? If we go on the 1 hour time frame, PY, that's the 1 hour PY, right? So we never mitigated the supply. This is a clean bullish move followed by this kind of correction in this. If you go on the lower time frame, that will be the correction, because that's the bearish candle, right? And this is corrective pullback. If I get a demand mitigation here, I'll go into my lower time frame entry model, and this is the area where I will interested be in long, playing with the order flow to get that next leg up to the supply. It's pretty simple. And this was just before London Open. So we got this move, we never mitigated the supply, so the trade idea is still valid, and this was the leg inducement that I was trying to see taken out and then getting involved into the trade. So this was, we just pulled back, we just mitigated the POI, we swept this liquidity. Now we are in the POI. Now I'm just trying to capture that higher low formation up to the supply. So that was the entry candle, up to the supply, create extreme 2.15, 2.2, right? And the main, if we put this trade idea from the daily and the 4 hour perspective, we can really squeeze this as one as well, because where are we capturing on the daily? If you can see here, we are capturing the higher low, because our next expectation is to capture this kind of move, right? Because remember, we are playing the pullback. So with this kind of corrective highs on the top, and if we go on the 4 hour, this is very, very slow price action with lots of liquidities resting off. It normally vacuums the price to go high, because this POI didn't sweep liquidity. It didn't. If it was like that and led to the break, if we had this kind of supply, then I would be a little bit cautious. But we can really squeeze this up to the highs as well, because of how poorly the structure highs was formed. Since I use mechanical trade management, just 1 to 2, right? Let's see. Okay, we push down, so I trail my entry candle and I got tagged in here. I didn't like. There were a few negative confluences actually in this trade, because when I got this entry candle triggered, I mean I was pretty mechanical. I'm pretty mechanical with my strategy, but there are a few negative confluences that I should be aware of as well, because if trade doesn't go in my direction, then I have to be comfortable accepting the losses, right? Because it's a probability game. So what I was a little bit concerned was because I was hoping for price to mitigate much deeper and then go. And the entry candle was not that great either. It was just small and it didn't like follow through like that. And because of this kind of impulsive move, I was hoping this was the objective of the pullback was completed, and now we will go and take out the lows. But yeah, that's the negative confluences. But I had lots of positive confluences to take this trade, because I was trading from this strong low. After we got that impulsive move, we got the corrective pullback. We had lead in front of it, right, and got the tag. We had enough risk to reward on our side, and that's like it's a go, right? That was the entry candle trigger, and it ended up being a winner. It almost hit the stop loss, but it didn't, because after that we got this break. We had this demand in control, because this demand was formed through sweep. So this pullback is quite like expected. So there's nothing to be worried of. And after that, it just smashed, right? It even went up to the supply. If you wanted to squeeze, you can really squeeze like that here as well to the supply. And even better if you can hold on to your trades like that. But with the tariff news and everything from the US, it's quite risky to put the trade up to the highs. Anyway, yeah, there was the trade, but yeah, I just exited at 162, which was pretty beautiful. As expected, this supply ended up providing the reaction, but it eventually went up to this high. Yeah, capturing this kind of lows with expectation of high time frames and everything, yeah, it really is the key and really nice trade, right? It ran 15.3, but yeah, I exited at 162 because that's my management. Thank you so much, guys. That's it for today. AUD USD was the beautiful trade that I took last week. On EU, it was not the great. Yeah, I do track GU as well. There was not much going on GU as well. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Let me know in the comments if you want to learn about something else, or if you want me to do other stuffs as well. I will be happy to do so. Thanks, guys. Have a good week ahead.